All right, so it is currently 2:05 in the morning right now. So I have to keep it down a little bit, but I want to talk about the man with game situation. Now, usually I would refrain from speaking on things like this because I'm the type of person that likes to focus on my own life. I like to mind my business. If you guys haven't noticed, you don't ever see me talking about other people unless I'm spreading positivity, unless I'm praising them in some way. Okay, I rarely ever make videos about other people, especially dedicating a whole video to, speaking about another person's life because that really doesn't get you anywhere. In my experience, focusing on my own life is what's gotten me this far, and especially spreading positivity on the rare occasions that I do focus on other people's lives. But I want to talk about this situation for a few reasons. Number one, I feel like a lot of people in my community could potentially be going through some of the things that he's going through. And obviously, this is just from the outside looking in. I don't have the full picture of what's going on in this man's life. I just know what he says and what I've seen. Okay, and I have not done much research at all. I'm just taking him at his word. I've watched a few videos where, he talks about a situation or maybe shows examples of the things that he's gone through with his parents. And, I understand that out of, I think I have like 43,000 subscribers right now. Out of like that many subscribers, there's at least one person that's going through that. Okay, at least one person is going to be going through something similar to what he's going through. And I want to provide some type of advice to that one person that's going through these things. So I'm basically using him as an example and just saying what I would do in that situation. Obviously, it's easy to say this from the outside looking in, but what else can I do? Okay, so if you don't know who ManWithGame is, basically he is a fellow content creator. He actually made a video about me not too long ago, and he had some, interesting things to say about me, to say the least. Me and Cole Hastings, actually. And, he said that we were soft and all of that, but he also said that he respects us as content creators. He thinks that we're good content creators. At the end of the day, I don't care about this man's opinion. I don't have any hate in my heart towards him for any of the things that he said. I believe that we're all entitled to our own opinions, and here's my opinion on his situation. Now, okay, ManWithGame is a fellow content creator. He makes videos about a variety of topics, but especially dating and semen retention. Now, these are topics that I touch on from time to time, but they're not the basis of my content. Okay, I think I cover a lot other topics that some other YouTubers don't cover within this niche, which I'm not saying I'm better than them or anything, but I think that me and him are not necessarily in the same lane. But analytics show that we have a lot of the same audience. Okay, I can see who you guys are watching. I can see who my subscribers watch, and he is one of the people that you guys watch. Now, he's an 18-year-old, to my knowledge. I know he's a teenager. He's a pretty young dude. He's younger than me. Okay, if nothing else, he's younger than me, and he's a teenager. And he's basically in a situation where he is dealing with an abusive father, okay, or toxic, abusive, however you want to put it. Like I said, I didn't do too much research on this, but, I think I know enough from what I've seen to know that, he's going through some pretty serious things mentally. Now, I'm not saying that to bash him or anything. I'm just calling it like I see it, okay? And I'm not saying that he's not telling the truth. From the video that I just watched, at least, a video that inspired me to turn my camera on at 2:05 in the morning to speak on this. Basically in the video, I'm not going to explain what he's doing. If you've seen the video, you probably know what I'm talking about. But I think it was very apparent just from the outside looking in that he had reached his breaking point in that video. Okay, he reached his breaking point. So for him to have reached that breaking point, and from other videos that I've seen of him, he seems like a pretty, calm and collected person. He doesn't seem like the type of person to do the things that he was doing in that video. That lets me know that he has definitely been dealing with something very, very traumatic for probably a long time. Okay, so that's why, like I said, I take him at his word, and I believe that, his father is probably abusive, or at the very least emotionally abusive, if not physically abusive as well. And I'm very fortunate to be in a situation where I have a great relationship with my parents. If I wasn't, here's what I would do personally. Okay, if I were in that situation where I had toxic parents, abusive parents, I would move out. Now, I know, like I said earlier, it's easier said than done. It's easy to say that from the outside looking in. It's easier to say that when I don't have toxic and abusive parents. But, I did a little bit of research, okay? I did a little bit of research into some of the things that he's into. I see that he's into cryptocurrency, and he talks about making a lot of money on that. He also has a Patreon where he has like 1,000 supporters on there, at least 1,000. And, you can subscribe at $15 or $20 a month. You do the math on that. And on top of that, I see the views that he's getting on YouTube. And as a YouTuber, I know that he's pulling in a good amount of money from that as well. Okay, even if some of his videos are getting demonetized, he's getting enough views to make up for that. I'm saying all of this to say that he has enough money to move out. Assuming that, he's using his money wisely. He's not just spending all of his money as he gets it. He doesn't come across as a very materialistic person, from what I can see. So for him to have that much money and choose to stay in that situation with his parents doesn't really make much sense to me. Okay, there must be something that I'm missing. And maybe somebody who is a dedicated viewer of his can fill in those blanks for me. Because I don't understand why he wouldn't have just moved out. The only reason that I could think of that he would not have moved out by now is a pride thing. Maybe he just has too much pride to feel like he's letting his dad or his parents run him out of the house. And, I understand that as an 18-year-old, you shouldn't feel forced or obligated to leave. Okay, I don't know what the culture is like in the UK or wherever he lives, but I feel like just as a general rule of thumb, at 18, you're a grown man, but you're also kind of still a kid at the same time. You're in that transitionary phase. I feel like once you hit your 20s, that's when you really hit adulthood. But, he's making grown man money. Okay, he's making grown man money. He talks about grown man topics. So it's time for him to make a grown man decision. Now, like I said, I'm not trying to put him down or anything or say that he's wrong for what he did. Everyone has their breaking point, and I want you guys to take that as an example for the people that did watch that video. Okay, and for the people that watched the video, I don't want you to link that in the comments. Okay, I don't want to have that type of energy being spread around, because I've also seen people kicking this man when he's down. And that's something that I don't really understand. I never understood why people feel the need to attack somebody when they're at their lowest point mentally. Okay, clearly based on this video that I've seen, this man is going through something. He is going through it, okay? And I don't think that it's right to attack him, especially, he's so young. He's 18. And I've seen this time and time again with him, with Von 2 Cut, with a lot of other content creators that have nothing to do with the content that we make. It seems like people have this tendency to hate on young, successful people, and I don't understand that. I really don't understand that, because all of the people that I've seen hating on him, they are not doing what he's doing. Okay, even though, we might have had disagreements in the past, I wouldn't even call them disagreements because, it was his opinion. I don't really care about it. I can acknowledge the fact that this young man is very successful, especially for his age. Okay, he already kind of has a brand going at 18 years old. He is wildly successful, which, it seems to me like that's why his father is so, bitter towards him. That's why he has all of this negative energy, because he's insecure. It can be difficult to see somebody younger than you doing better than you. But at the same time, if you haven't put in the work that that person's put in, if you haven't gone through the things that that person's gone through, you have no right to hate. You have no right to hate, to spread negativity. Okay, spreading negativity is not going to get you anywhere, not only on YouTube, but in life. Obviously, I'm trying to stay as neutral as possible and just give my objective opinion from the outside looking in. But basically what I'm saying is, I think that for anybody in that situation, if you have the means to leave a situation that is damaging your mental and emotional health, it's time to go. Okay, you can't let pride, you can't let ego, you can't let any of that stop you from making that next move in your life, especially if you are a grown man at this point. And it's a tough reality to face sometimes because, adulthood comes out of nowhere. Adulthood comes out of nowhere sometimes. Sometimes you get thrown out of the house and you have nowhere to go. and now you're grown. You're grown before you had a chance to grow up. That's the way it works sometimes, but you have to make the most of your situation. Okay, you have to react to that situation in a way that is going to be conducive to the betterment of your situation. You have to make a power move and do what's best for you. Me personally, I still live with my parents. And like I said, I have a great relationship with my parents. But I can promise you right now that the moment that I have enough money to move out, I'm going to do that. So if I were in his situation or a situation like his, where I was dealing with an abusive or toxic parent, I would have been gone, bro. It wouldn't even matter how much money I'm making. I would find a way. I'd go work 3 jobs if I had to, but I would not let myself stay in that toxic situation. Okay, at the end of the day, if the universe is trying to tell you that it's time to go, you got to follow that guide. You have to leave. You have to make that move for yourself. Much less if you're making the type of money that he's making, or the type of money that I'm assuming he's making. Based on the numbers that I have in my head, I'm not trying to count this man's pockets or anything, but I can tell you right now that this man is making some good money. Okay, so I think personally that for him, it's time to go, and that goes for anybody who's in a situation similar to him. Make sure that you guys take care of your mental health first and foremost. Making money is cool, saving money is cool, but if it comes at the expense of your mental health, what good is money going to do for you? Okay, because at the end of the day, man, mental health is all we got. You could have $1 million, but if your mental health isn't right, if you're spiritually broke, that $1 million isn't doing anything for you. Okay, it's time to put that money into action and take that next move. And, like I said, this is from the outside looking in. This man could have been searching for apartments this whole time for all I know. I don't know that. But just from the outside looking in, I think that it's definitely time to make that move. And also, I think that therapy might be a good option because, like I said, he's clearly reached his breaking point, which means that he has a lot of pent up trauma and anger within him. And, that's not good to carry around with you, especially from a young age, because the longer you go without addressing it, the more it's going to affect you in your overall state of being. Okay, and it's going to start to reflect itself in the quality of your work. But anyways, man, this video was not intended to put ManWithGame down or put anyone else in that situation down. I understand that it can be hard to think in times like that. It can be easy to let your emotions get the best of you. And especially if you're, a young teenager like him. Okay, it can be very, very difficult. And, I really didn't want to make a video about this because, like I said, I just like to keep to myself. But, if I can't help him with this video, I at least want to help that one person that's going through the same thing.